was the eve of that fateful night when Ruth would meet Boaz under the stars and uncover his feet amidst the piles of grain and set the course of Jewish history. Late in the evening, towards night, after a long, laborious day of work in the fields, Boaz sits down to eat. V'yochel Boaz v'yesht v'yitav libo. And Boaz ate his meal. So he hadn't eaten much all day. He was starving. V'yesh, and he drank. V'yitav libo, and he gladdened his heart. And so the rabbis ask, what does it mean that he gladdened his heart? So in Ruth Rabbah, is Parsha Vav. V'yitav libo, the first interpretation is Shebeirach al mazono, that he said the Birkat HaMazon, the blessing after meals. So this either means that because his heart was gladdened from the satisfying meal, that the gladness of his heart was expressed through prayer and thanks to God. Or even more intriguingly, it means that it was in the process of translating his satisfaction into thanks and praise for God that itself gladdened his heart, which is kind of amazing. But I want to take one more line, which is one of my favorite pieces of Midrash all time. I say it all the time, but this is really just extraordinary. So Vayitav libo, so that he gladdened his heart, or davar acher, and another interpretation, Vayitav libo, gladdened his heart, she'achal mine mitika achar hamazon, that he ate sweets, he ate dessert after the meal. Shehi margelat lashon laTorah. He ate sweets such that they accustom the tongue to Torah. They get the tongue used to Torah by being sweet. So this can mean the most basic meaning is look, Torah is sweet, the tongue is sweet. You want more Torah, so you start with dessert, so that it gets your Torah, gets your tongue used to Torah. And you want more, you'll get more. And they all exist on a continuum, and they just go together well. But there's something I think more pointed here. Margalat literally means like accustom or acclimate. You need hargala for something when something is in itself something that you couldn't handle, something would be too much for you. If you just went into it cold, something that would be shocking to the system if you went into it unprepared, without a warm-up, as it were. And I think what this midrash means is that the Torah on its own is, if it's experienced properly, the Torah is simply too sweet. It's too overwhelmingly sweet for you to just jump in after a day of work and put it on your tongue. It'll be overwhelming, and you won't be able to handle it properly. I mean, the only way Boaz can start learning at night is just he needs something to get his feet wet. It's a warm-up exercise or a gateway. He needs to feel just basic, sugary sweetness. Whatever they had, whatever their version of cake or Mike and Ike's or whatever it was, some fruit, something to feel some of that regular terrestrial kind of culinary sweetness on the tongue that would make it just possible for him to enter into the world of Torah such that it would gladden his heart. It's just extraordinary. Shavuos is it's a simple holiday. There are no attached positive mitzvot. It's just Yom Tov, and it's just about a celebration of the Torah. And so the message here is that the Shavuos we should enjoy sweet things, and through those sweet things we should enjoy the sweetness of the Torah, and through both we should gladden our hearts, and the gladdening of our hearts should be expressed and be constituted by prayer and thanks to God. So wishing everyone a wonderful, wonderful, restful, peaceful Shavuos.